Hey folks, man, this is Monk, and we are back with another episode of From the Canopy Film Show. I'm joined as always with my co-host Bobby Blockbuster.
Yo, yo, yo.
And today we're going to be reviewing The Batman, directed by Matt Reeves, starring Robert Pattinson. We got Zoe Kravitz, we got Jeffrey Wright, we've got Colin Farrell, we've got John Turturro, and a host of others, man. And the story, I guess, let me look at the synopsis real quick. I definitely should have had this up. My brain is trash these days. I just wrote. That was a bad search. Okay, so in this story, the Batman ventures into Gotham City's underworld when a sadistic killer leaves behind a trail of cryptic clues. As evidence begins to lead closer to home and the scale of the perpetrator's plans become clear, he must forge new relationships, unmask the culprit, and bring justice to the abuse of power and corruption that has long plagued the metropolis. And yeah, so we're going to kind of two-part this, man. We're going to give you all our unspoilery takes, and then we're going to take some time to get into spoiler territory because I feel like we have to get deeper analysis. But what did you like about this film, man?
First thing that stood out to me, I like the music. I think the music was really cool. I like that their take on the Batman score. That was dope, and the practical realism that carried throughout this film. It just kind of, it felt to me a little more grounded than some of the other versions that we've gotten.
I just want to point out Michael Giacchino did the music in this thing, and I think it does a great job, man. The music definitely drives this thing forward, gives us a pulse, beat for them to do their stuff too. I'm trying to think of what else he's done. If they show anything, Spider-Man No Way Home, The Incredibles, these are things that are showing. So yeah, that's crazy, dude.
And I caught wind. I don't know how much truth there is to this, but the director actually, there's this one Nirvana song that they play a couple times throughout the film, and he said the reason why he chose that song is because in that movie, I want to say it's called Good Time, that Pattinson also played in, but he had the blonde hair.
Oh yeah,
he said he kind of reminded him look-wise of Kurt Cobain, and the character that Batman is portraying in this film, plus the lifestyle or whatever with Kurt Cobain.
Yeah, they get a lot more songs in because I noticed that as this thing was going on.
So I thought that was pretty cool too. Because shit, when was the last time we heard one of those songs in a movie? Anyways, they've been kind of long removed from the scene. In film, so I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I did like the look of it. They definitely feel like this is a unique place. It doesn't feel like a real city. You know what I'm saying? It definitely feels like a different world. It's not like New York or this is Boston and so they did a good enough job to make it distinct. It is big city. And this a place that would have a seedy underworld and a corrupt government. And they give it a unique lens, man. A lot of stuff we've been seeing lately is filtered through that blue lens, but I feel like this was going more for like reddish and brown, more earthly tones, I did think it was a little bit too dark at times, though. We get it. I know this is, I know this is supposed to be a dark, gritty film, but it's like you kind of laid on a little bit too thick at times,
But you know what? Not for nothing, and this is no. I'm not taking no jabs at like Batman Forever or anything, but I'd rather it be a little more darker than look like the whole world is illuminated in black lights. You know what I mean? So this one, it seemed like it was. It's more stuck with the tone that they were trying to set throughout. You know what I mean? Even though, but you are right. There are times my vision might not be the best, but I was squinting extra hard. What's going on? Like somebody got a flashlight?
And that's the kind of a thing that was going on. Like, especially the second time I watched it, I'm like, it's 3 hours is a long time to have my eyes like in this state, of trying to discern things. And I think later on in the film, it really starts to kick in, and you're just like, oh, turn the lights on, bro. Like, what's going on? Y'all trying to save an electric bill in Gotham?
Yeah, right. And then not for nothing, not only was it straining on the eyes in that aspect, but we can't talk about this film without talking about the length of it.
Mm-hmm.
That is an investment.
Well, we'll get that for negatives. I'm still trying to figure out
the positives.
The positives.
All right, yeah, well, cool. Another positive for me, I also like the look of the costume. Batman's not so much, but I did like I said, the practical, realistic look of the Catwoman. Like, pretty much, she was dressed like a cat burglar. You know what I mean? Which I thought that was really cool. And maybe it's just because I love mobsters and the look of them, but they made the Penguin look like the Tom Hardy version of Al Capone. That Al Capone movie that just came out, I want to say last year, the year before.
Mm-hmm.
Penguin looked just like Al Capone. I was like, dude, if he pulls out the gold AK and starts spraying at any point in this movie, I'm gonna lose it. You know what I mean? I would have loved to see it, but I'm glad they didn't do it because he really he looked like straight up mobster. So, but yet again, I mean, I feel like, with all the things that stood out about this film in a positive way for me, it's because they created their lane and they stuck to it. They didn't
they did definitely commit
too much
to the vision, whatever vision Matt Reeves had. It seems like no one interfered. He put whatever he wanted to put on this screen. And that was that. I do like the acting performances for the most part. I really like what Jeffrey Wright's Gordon brings to the table.
Yes.
And I thought him and Batman had some interesting interactions. Catwoman, she's solid here. Zoe Kravitz playing Selena Kyle. I do like Colin Farrell's Penguin. Like, I feel like he was having more fun than anybody, and it almost feels like he was in a different movie than anyone else. That's probably going to come back around for my complaints aspect. But I do wonder why they chose to go this makeup route, because I feel like you might have could have got, even though it was kind of expressive makeup, but I feel like you might could have got a little bit more out of this if you just maybe got him to let him pig out for a couple months and put that weight on naturally, than bulking him up with the prosthetics.
Did look like the prosthetic. Like, I want to say I couldn't tell if it was a scar or just
it looked like he had he was a rough goon. Like if you imagine how someone like Al Capone came up to be second in command before they took over, this guy was in the trenches doing a lot of the Falcone's dirty work. That's what it comes across to me. So it's like that. It seems like it's telling a story. That choice to put.
And I know we have different views on this. Me personally, I really like the costume design and the look of the Riddler, just because it looked more serious in tone, whereas some of the other costumes, I mean, the Jim Carrey did a great job as the Riddler, but I mean, it's kind of hard to take somebody serious that's running around in a hot green spandex suit with question marks all over it. I mean, he looked a little more like it felt like a little bit more of like a militant vibe. Mm-hmm. The mask, I don't even know if, I think this was the first time they even put a mask on the Riddler's character, outside of the little eye covering thing. This was a full on mask. But I really appreciated the new approach in the look that they tried to give him. I thought that was cool.
Yeah, I guess that could be one. I got a different take on my impressions of him. But what else was I messing with, man?
The Batmobile.
Yeah,
that was
Mm-hmm.
The look of the Batmobile is like being a souped up, a Challenger or something.
It was. He definitely something he built, but it was definitely more styled like a muscle car.
Like a new age muscle car. Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. Love the look of the Batmobile. Yeah. That one might be sitting up there. I'm very, very. I love the look of the very first one, the 1989 one. Mm-hmm. But man, this one might be a very, very close second for me.
Yeah, I do like. Well, I don't fully like it, but I do like the fact that they did show the detective and the police side of this thing, man. Because like we've had Batman, like a lot of people are saying Detective Batman, and to be honest, we've seen Batman detected pretty much since this series started going to film, man. Let's not deny that.
Right.
But we usually just get it from his side, you know.
Right.
So I do appreciate that, the fact that he's on these crime scenes and Gordon is like his only advocate, and the other cops is like, what is he doing here? And I think that's cool to show the tandem and the exchange, because, you know, he's been detective, but in other iterations, he's usually sneaking into the crime scene after the fact, looking for the stuff that the cops miss. So now we see him doing it, you know, with the police,
running parallel with them.
And I think that's kind of interesting way to do this now that I think about it, because I mean, he's year 2 Batman, so maybe he's not as seasoned with the detecting, because I mean, he is a detective, but in this film he gets a lot of help doing that, man. But I think the way it's depicted in him, it would make sense. So I'm not skilled enough to come in after the fact and figure the stuff out on my own. I'm getting hints from, you know, Gordon, you know, Alfred's feeding me stuff, and other people in the counter are helping me, you know, put these puzzles together. Whereas maybe later on, as he's getting used to, you know, doing this type of work, then he'll be more, you know, independent, you know.
Oh yeah, with more experience. But yeah, to your point, I mean, I love the fact that in this movie, him and Gordon, they're almost like a team. It's almost like watching, you know, two cops like partners or something. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And the way that Gordon was rocking for him. One thing that did make me laugh all the time though is like, okay, like Pattinson, he's got his bat voice, and whenever he talks in his bat voice,
he didn't have a voice like, he didn't have a voice as crazy as Christian Bale.
No, it wasn't that.
So
that wild,
it was different. Yeah,
it was different. But he had his bad voice. But it made me laugh because Gordon would talk like, you know, quote unquote, like a normal dude to everyone else. Man. But whenever he talked to Batman in his bat voice. Like Batman's like, "What's going on, Chief Gordon?" And Gordon like, "I don't know. We got to figure this out, Batman." That was just making me laugh so much.
They were good. They definitely got me through a lot of moments where I was kind of kind of a little bit bored or getting a little wary of how long this thing was dragging on. Just seeing them, they were a good team, man. Like they definitely were probably a highlight of the film for me, man. But you're right, and there was something else Gordon did also that I laugh every time. Like I've seen it twice, and I'm like, the rest of the audience is not laughing; they just dead in this joint both times. Like y'all not picking on how crazy Gordon just said that line, like
right,
like, oh man, yeah. But
then you know, and also to your point, you know, they did kind of give us that detective feel with Batman. But you know, we all got to remember that when Batman comics first came out, it wasn't even called the Batman. It was Detective Comics, and it was that kind of flow. So I think that maybe they were trying to pay homage and just, you know, dive into that water a little bit more, because it's not that it's uncharted territory, but like you said, up until this point, it was just automatically expected that, like, he didn't really have to do too much. We already knew that he was, you know, on top of his detective game. Where this one, like, it really showed how green he was, but he knew his riddles though.
Yeah,
he must have did the weekend paper.
Oh, that's a crazy thing. Oh, all right, yeah. So I mean, see, it's hard for me to go without getting into it without what do you ultimately think about this, man? Let's do that. Then we can wrap this section and then we'll go into this stuff, the meat, man. Because
ultimately, I was entertained. I feel, you know, I mean, beauty's in the eye of the beholder. I do feel that this film is getting a little bit too much over glorification for reasons unbeknownst to me. It was too long. I feel like if they would have trimmed the fat in certain areas, that this movie would have been a lot more entertaining to me. You know, I don't mind sitting 3 hours in a movie if I'm all the way engaged and entertained throughout.
What do you do with that 3 hours? And I don't think I got 3 hours worth of movie in these 2 hours.
No, absolutely not. And you know, once we get into, you know, the next segment, you know, we can dive deeper into that. But I think the ultimate flaw in this is the running time, and that would then lead to, mismanagement of time and execution in certain areas.
Mhm.
But all in all, I mean, I was entertained. I'm not going to do cartwheels about it. I will own it, and I am highly anticipating, you know, any sequels that we might get, or anything else that we're going to get from this world. I've heard, I don't know if it's true or not,
Set up an interesting world. I will give it that,
and
man. Like
I want to say, is it HBO Max or something? They're going to do some
April.
April.
Well,
Yeah,
I mean, well, they're putting this out in April, but I did just see that there was a plan to make a Gotham
It's like-
City based TV
it's
show.
a TV show
but,
about Arkham Asylum. So they're going to
I
dive
don't
into
think
like
it's
the villain.
specifically Arkham. I think
okay.
it's dealing with Gotham or Gotham PD or something. But I did see a story today that said that got delayed. So I don't know if they're going to switch up plans because of the success of this or what. I don't know. I got to look deeper into that. But that's breaking news, man.
Yeah. So, but I mean, all in all, like I said, I will own it. I will watch it again once I get physical media and stuff. And I think that, viewing it in the comfort of my own home, and I can take a pause break to use the bathroom without fear of missing anything or, stuff like that. I think it might hit a little different, but still, I'm a firm believer that time is money. And if you're going to invest your time into something, it has to be worth it. Every minute counts. And this was just ultimately a mismanagement of time in certain areas. But if we had to put it scaled 1 to 5, I would give it a respectful maybe 3.7.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm thinking for me, it's probably going to be around that 3 to 3.5 range because it's like there was some really cool stuff, but I feel like the moments that I liked were not as many as the moments that I didn't like,
Right.
and but I will say go see this. Like I said,
Yes.
I'm pretty sure he's going to get a sequel if he wants to do it. And he set up a really cool world. It's going to be interesting now that we've got some of this exposition out of the way and to see what he comes up with now. Because, one of the biggest complaints is like, what I'm seeing with reviews everywhere, you could have shaved 30 to 40 minutes off of this thing, man. And still got the same story across. But I would still say people to go see it and make up your own mind, man.
Yeah, you have to. And I will, quote me on this. I'm a firm believer that if we do get another, like a sequel or anything else, involving, this world with these characters, I do believe it will be a lot better than this one because, they won't have to take the same avenues that they took us through in this one.
Yeah, but it's gonna be tricky, man. I wouldn't want that job, to try to follow this up. But let's get into our spoiler territory, man. We can get a little bit more in depth. So if you don't want to hear spoilers, turn this thing off now. And my main thing, with that said, this runtime really played into how a lot of this film played out for me, man. Like I was really bored a lot of times in this thing, man. Like specifically like toward that end stretch, it got really tedious. And I'm looking at the clock and I'm like, all right, wrap it up, B. And I think some of it was out the gate, we learned when they were announcing this, he wants to make a movie that emphasizes Batman the detective. And I think in a way you spent a lot of too much time with some of this stuff, some of these things, explaining things and walking through every little bit of this evidence trail. And I'm like, yo, you got to truncate that a little bit, man, at least to play for the screen, especially when you put all this stuff in there. And I still in this film feeling like I didn't get enough. You know what I'm saying? Like this film, it's too long, but at the same time, it was short. It was too short because you kind of focused on things that were, I feel like, bells and whistles material. Like everyone's harping on the atmosphere and the mood of this film, but that's a given for me these days. Like it's not hard to get great cinematography at this level. You spend $200 million, your thing better look good, man. Like the Suicide Squad look good. Shazam look good. On the camera. The Marvel stuff, it looks good on the camera. We've had TV shows that look gritty and grimy and dirty, and the cities look filthy, and so, I get that, but it's like it seems like he was reveling in that too a little bit too much at times. Some of the excess shots and excess conversations that could have been done in a sentence versus us having to actually see it.
That's what I was gonna say. Like, to me, yes, I did step away from the table feeling full yet unsatisfied as well. And I feel like the runtime was due to this long talk. These conversations, some of them, they took the scenic route. Like, if Gordon says, Batman, what did you have for breakfast? It's simple. Bacon, eggs, toast. Batman's like, no, man, let me tell you how I scrambled them, man. And I mixed them first and put some, he goes through this whole, like you said, just this over attention to detail.
How many times did he go to the underground club?
To the club.
That's one that kills me.
Like, so, you must be on the VIP, bro.
Catwoman says, Falcone, that's my father. He's like, now I gotta go talk to him. I'm like, we could have skipped that conversation and just got to the business. Like,
exactly. That's what I'm saying. And like, yes, there were a lot of unnecessary conversations, and then the actual relevant conversations were so long that, there were times when they were saying something important, and it just completely, they missed me with it because it took them so long to just say that shit. Stuff. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So
it is one of them things. It's like you're requiring this audience level of attention, but you're not helping me stay awake with this. Like put it this way, man. I compare this to what happened in the story compared to what happened in the last 3-hour movie I saw, which was probably comic book movie Endgame.
Right.
There was a lot of things that happened in that film compared to what happened in Batman. And that's the part that kind of gets me when I feel like a lot of people, it seems like they're overreacting to this thing, man. It sets itself up to be on this high pedestal of high art. But it's Batman, bro. The dude wears a suit and he goes out at night and beats up people.
Fights crime, exactly. Come on. And that's the thing too, man. It's like, for me, even in out of the movie world, in real life, if I have a conversation with somebody and they just overextend the conversation, you reach a point where things just start going in one ear and out the other. Mm-hmm. And when that happens in a movie, then the next phase is just getting disinterested and unentertained. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And like I said, this one, we all had to see it, but getting into that third phase, it's like you start checking the watch like, man, well, it said it was 3 hours. I know that.
And it kind of does that thing that I kind of criticized The Dark Knight for, where it almost has two endings. It's like you could have ended the movie here, but you go a little bit further after that. Like you keep going. And
yes,
because it's like, all right, when they got what's the name in the jail, the Riddler.
Oh, the Riddler, yeah.
And then it's like, they about to wrap this up, and then the bombs go off. I'm like,
yep.
Man, we got to figure this. And some of these things, like just on the scale of just plot and stuff like that, it started getting a little wonky because one of the things you're trying to sell me on is this realism, and then some of the things just don't make sense. Like your plot to kill the mayor involves you getting like a bunch of dudes off the internet that agree to do whatever you tell them to do,
and they all get the same costume. I'm wondering, like, when they signed up, did them signing up come with a free costume?
Maybe he gave them instructions. They never say how he got funded for any of his stuff, or maybe it's coming from his internet supporters. The donations to his YouTube channel. That's what he paid for this stuff with, but. Yeah, I don't see, and that comes to my criticism of the Riddler. Like how you're telling me you like the costume.
I did. I like the, and I personally like the character.
Wouldn't have minded seeing a suit. Maybe not the suit with all the question marks and checks on. Maybe this guy is just a regular guy on the outside. Right. Seemingly with a briefcase and that funny hat, and he goes to work every day. But at the same time, he's on some Mr. Glass, like just chaos and causing problems. And the depiction of him was a little bit over the top, man. Like I feel like he was trying to do his own version of Ledger's Joker, which really put Riddler in a weird like trying to be like are they all this crazy in the same ways? Like that just
for me, I kind of got more like Jigsaw vibes. Like I was thinking, like, because it wasn't just his mannerisms and the way he was talking and things he was doing, but it was like the whole, like, the questions, the clues, and then like the cause and effect. Like, oh, if you don't do this in time, then and so it gave me heavy Jigsaw vibes.
So that comes around to my other criticism with the mystery. Everyone is acting like you're talking about the overrating of this, and everyone is acting like this is 7, but instead of Pitt and and Morgan Freeman, you got Batman and Gordon. But nah, I would wager it's more like Saw with Batman and Gordon. Complete with the cheese. Even my man with the bomb contraption stuck to his head.
I mean, the Saw was good. The first one. I stand by that. A lot of people, I love that first Saw. The rest of the franchise missed me with the rest.
But it's like it comes to this thing, man. Like that's one of my biggest things. It's like this thing comes across as pretentious in a lot of ways. It's like, end of the day, you're making a comic book movie. You're making a superhero. He's a vigilante. He's in the streets, but like. I get you're trying to, you want to put the production value and poetics on this, but in doing so, in a lot of ways, you suck the fun out of it for me, man. Like,
you know what?
Like, the action, like that took a real big hit because of this film. Was trying to. I don't know what he's trying to do. Like, I get it. Batman isn't. He's not the Batman from Batman vs Superman that was damn near killing everybody he touched. That's my favorite fighting Batman. But I feel like you could show this inexperience and show him, having a little bit of difficulty fighting these guys, but still make it look exciting. Like that first fight, the sound effects are even just pitiful. Like when he's fighting the dudes, they run after the dude on the train. It's just like, like where's the? Oh, you want to hear that punch and meat sound from Rocky? Like you want to
Another thing that sucked the fun out, and also kind of just took away from the high points of the film was the over usage of the trailers and the mismanagement of what they gave us in the trailers. Case in point,
they put all the action in the trailer.
They put all the action in the trailer, and then the Batmobile chase scene. I mean, it's all of about 7 minutes. You know what I'm saying? And it's. I mean,
he's not driving for 7 minutes.
Yeah, maybe 5 minutes, maybe 5 to 7 minutes. Give or take.
I could do
but I mean,
it was like 7 minutes.
It's high octane. It's fast. It's engines rev, all this stuff. And then the worst thing about that car chase scene is they already showed us the climactic point in the trailer. I mean, all the way up into him doing the slow walk with the song playing.
They've done that before too with these trailers, man.
Why?
I don't know who cuts their things.
If I'm gonna watch the car chase, you know what I'm saying, I want to feel that. That ending scene, that climactic point, brand new, fresh. I want to peel it right out the package. My first experience, and I've already seen that part so much.
And I feel like at least for me, the lack of the action, it starts hitting because it's probably got as much action as a typical length movie would have. Yeah. But this is 3 hours, so it seems like even less action, even though it probably has the same amount of scenes as previous, Batman films, but because you've got this stretched out experience, it just seems so few and far between, man.
Another thing. I know, that for a better part, for a good part of the movie, Mr. Alfred was in a stretcher or in the hospital and stuff, so maybe he couldn't put a lot of work in. But we're gonna need to get him to work some overtime because the gadgets. There was not a lot.
There's no Lucius.
There was not a lot of gadgets going on.
Yeah. There's no Lucius here. Maybe if Bruce Wayne went to the office, he would have met Lucius.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, his utility belt was kind of bare, man. It almost just looked like it was just trying to hold his pants up. It didn't look like a utility belt. You know what I'm saying? There wasn't a lot going on.
I didn't like his collar though. I noticed that.
I didn't like his cowl.
My man Batman got dragged by his cape. When the last time we seen that, man? Come on, man. Here's my thing, man. I like when things are realism, but you know what I like more than realism? Fun. Sometimes you gotta throw that out the way to give us the spectacle that we want to see. And
they can still set the tone. They can still be realistic. But I mean, there is a clear cut understanding that this is still a comic book based movie. So even with the realistic approach, you still gotta give us. Look at Sin City. That was a comic book. A movie based on a comic book, and it had a realistic flow, but it was far fetched.
Yeah, you got to give us that moments that we come to these things for, man. They spent a lot of money on this thing, and they're asking for a lot of time for people, man. They had a really big opening weekend, but I'm curious to see what it's going to do in the following weeks, or how fast it's going to get to that $1 billion mark. Because I don't know, dude.
Well, if everybody saw it in AMC, I mean, they got that dollar upcharge.
I mean, we definitely got all the diehards that came out the first week. You know what I'm saying? But But one of my other criticisms too, man, is I don't like his suit, man. That Batwing suit, it ruined one of my favorite parts of the movie. I love that exchange where they try to cook him. I think he gets knocked out and he wakes up and they try to mess with his mag.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The Gordon's like, get off him. And they're like, nah, man. And that's when the corrupt cop, you realize later that one cop he's really, you know, he was getting too close. Yep. But then, it's just one of my favorite parts, like, you know, when the Gordon's like, give me some time, I'll convince him. And it goes in and this is some good ass acting, dude, on both parts. Because my man Jeffrey Wright, he leans in like he's chewing him up, but under his breath, he's like, yo, man, we gotta get you out of here. But he's playing it like he's giving him, that was the best scene. Yo, and then he steals the shit out of him and starts running. And this is when I felt like I was watching Batman. Then he throws the hook and that shot where the camera's stuck on him, but he's going up. That shit was so awesome. And then this motherfucker pulls out a squirrel suit. Come on, man. Come on, man. But, no, come on.
Were those things even around in the time where this, was supposed to take place?
That's interesting because I don't know what time this thing takes place. They got cell phones, but the cabs are like 85 Chevys. Like I don't know when this thing takes place, to be honest. But that took me out so bad, dude. I was like, man, damn. And then he crashes. And in a way where he should not get up
and roll.
He should not get up from that, dude. He hit that thing doing like 80, like boom, boom, bang. So, and that's the thing. So, are we gonna be realistic or are we not gonna be realistic? Just not the That's realistic. I'm gonna leave that in there. You can't make that up, folks. I'm gonna leave that all in there.
But we passionate about this, man. Sometimes, man, you gotta throw the light down until you get that point across. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So it's like, all right, we get this realism when he's fighting people, but then when because there's another problem too. Like when they do get into it with the I would call them what's his name the Riddler's disciples. And he's fighting these
the little redlets.
My man took a double barrel shotgun to the chest. Okay, the armor did keep the bullets from penetrating, but that's a double barrel blast, and he still had the strength to hang on to the edge.
And I want to say he ate it in the ribs too. Whether you got a vest on or not, bro, man, that thing that's like getting kicked in the ribs by a horse. Take you a while
to get up from that.
Are you kidding? I mean, he didn't look like he was in good health after he escaped. He's like, Catwoman, I'm gonna need him. I can't be too friendly right now. It's hard for me to breathe.
I need him to hire the people that do unbox fight scenes and get this dude up, man. Because like this ain't acceptable. I'm gonna let you ride because it's your first roll out, but like it left a lot to be desired, but man.
Ultimately, it wasn't a flaw in Pattinson's acting. No, this was a flaw in the way they tried to portray the character. Yeah. You know what I mean? Pattinson did a great job.
I do want to put that out there, man. Pattinson is a great Batman. I have no problem with him at all. No problem with what he did in this film.
He did a good job.
He's working with what they gave, and he gave me more than I expected to get from him. To be honest.
Not for nothing, I liked what Zoe Kravitz did with Catwoman.
Yeah, she was solid.
She was very she was kind of had this elegance, but also kind of like she was. You could tell she was rough around the edges. You know what I'm saying? But her character was purposeful.
She could whoop him. I think she could. But speaking of fight skills, I get it. This is round 2, but I think Falcon from y'all say all day Falcon ain't got no hands, but I think he can serve this Batman, bro, easily. He give Batman that work. Oh man.
Yeah.
What else ain't work, man? It's I think that's it, man. Mostly just the plotting and for me the and the lack of action, man. I want that, dude. You owe me that. This is Batman.
And that one time,
even as much as I dislike Snyder did with Batman in his films, he at least nailed the Batman moments. Like he got the fighting, he got the gadgets. We got a cool Batman chase a couple times in those films. So Batmobile. So
multiple chases too. Like this one, you only get one chase. Mm-hmm. You only get the Batmobile chase. And I mean, even in like the Burton Batmans, I mean, you get the car chase, and then you get the Batwing chase, and then in the other one, I want to say he even has like some kind of Bat submarine situation going on.
And I think there was something weird going on because, like I said, I saw this thing twice, and it was just somber. dead audiences, and like I'm the only one laughing at obviously funny moments like the thumb drive joke. I lost it. I was like, yo, y'all are being silly, but it was funny to me, man. And some of the stuff Gordon was doing and him, and then I was like, the crowd is dead. But then it kind of hit me that maybe just the tonality of this film didn't allow for people to even recognize that yeah, it's serious in tone. Like Seven is a film that don't got a lot of jokes, man.
Yeah.
You know, so but there's a couple moments I think when they're doing the research, and I think Morgan Freeman is schooling Brad Pitt about the Iliad or some ancient text. But then you see these two dudes and you know, having this banter, and even what's the name was cracking me up? Colin Farrell, Penguin.
Yeah.
But the tonality and this that they set for this, I don't think the audience was picking up on, like, oh, it's okay to laugh. These are jokes. This is.
And also, like I said, I mean, for me, I don't know if this happened for other people, but I got to the point where with the length of these conversations, like soon when people started talking, I started just getting slightly frustrated, spacing out. Like it's like they would build us up, we get some action and stuff, and then it's like, oh man, another conversation? Shit. Yeah, y'all just get back to the good stuff. And like I said, and then I know we were talking before we started recording this, I caught wind that there was actually a 4-hour cut of this. So thank goodness gracious we didn't get that one.
They cut some scenes out of this film to make this. So I mean, that's typically what happens. I remember when we saw that Black Dynamite, they had like 30 minutes of.
Well, they didn't cut enough out of this one. I mean, if they already had the scissors out, they could have did a little bit.
So that's what it seems like to me, man. And I do appreciate them for doing that. It seems like they gave him free reign to make the film that he wants. So no one's gonna be able to come in and say if this thing isn't well received that it's because studio interference. They let him do what he wanted,
right?
But I think they should have probably still kept the length clause, because that's the thing too, man. 3-hour film, and maybe this box office is going to be a little bit higher if this is more of a 2-hour film, and you could get more showings in and get more people in. But I don't know.
And I don't even know if movies do intermissions anymore. But I remember there
was
a time it was 3 hours you would get an intermission. So
yeah, that's it, man. But like I'm not going to say this thing is a terrible movie, because it's not.
It's not by any stretch.
But I can't tell you that it's great either, man. So me personally, I'm kind of just what do you say?
Middle of the pack.
Yeah, middle of the pack. I'm kind of indifferent to it. You know what I'm saying? It's cool. It's not trash. I definitely like it more than most of what Snyder delivered in his films. And but I don't think it overall is as good as even the worst of the Nolan trilogy, bro. To be honest, man, like even the flaws that Rises has is still like entertaining. It's still like crazy high level Batman, and you know what I'm saying? Like, despite the ridiculous Island of Gotham plot, like when did Gotham get dams and shit though? What is this going on? What is this? Like, is that canon? I don't think it is.
Yeah. But I'm with you. I'm a little more than middle of the pack. I like it a little more than that. Mainly because I can watch this one and it does not make me try to search for comparisons or similarities in any of the other franchises of this same story. You know what I'm saying? This one created its own lane. It stood firm. It does not remind me of Nolan. It does not remind me of Burton. It does not remind me of the animated series. Yes, it took little pieces from all of those, but they all do. Everything we've gotten from Tim Burton has taken something from the 1989 version of Batman. So we expect that, but create your own lane. And this one, it did that. So
it definitely did.
Because of that, it gets a little bit more of a oomph on the positive for me. But like I said, I'm really just looking forward to the next installment of this, because I really think it's gonna run circles
probably got
around
about
this.
At least 2 years minimum, 2 to 3.
I'm cool with that.
The way they be working.
Because
They got a pretty big slate this year. I mean, for you know, I don't like when you do see it. They do run that trailer they got, which is weird because you know this film is not connected to no Flash, it's not connected to Black Adam, and it's not connected to Aquaman 2. But I mean, I guess they're just trying to say that we got stuff coming out, you know.
Yeah.
So they got a lot of films coming out this year, which I think it might be the most that they put out in a single year. So that's pretty dope, man. I'm looking forward to actually seeing what they do with them because you know they're underdogs, but man, I love all this comic book stuff, man. I'm going to see it, and you know, no matter what.
That's what I'm
like,
saying.
It's just,
hey, keep fighting, DC.
You got
know,
my money.
Don't
Keep
wave the
fighting,
flag.
bro.
Don't wave the
fighting.
flag. Keep fighting. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Hey,
this
Apollo Creed beat the snot out of Rocky the first time around. Rocky did win the next time. So, you know, you gotta keep fighting.
And even though, like I said, man, I don't want to say this shit is garbage because it's not, man.
It's
but
not.
You know, just because I don't like it, I feel like they are still making strides in the right direction, man.
Absolutely.
Overall, you know, this is a good step. You know, it's not, you know.
And keep coming with them animated films because that that's their bread baker. In my eyes,
it would be the bread maker if they made bread, but those are, I mean,
they go straight to streaming. But
but it'd be greater. Dude, it's tricky now because they've adapted so many of the good stories with those that it's going to be tricky to readapt some of those in live action now, you know, and that's going to be a tricky but I think you end up with something like this, something that does pull from some of the stories, but then some of the stuff is also just made up, you know, by the director and producers, you know, so you know, and I'm cool with that too, man. Just try. Where's Robin?
Keep fighting.
Where's Robin though?
Just keep fighting. I mean, who knows? Maybe we might get a Nightwing movie.
We need Robin, bro. Fuck Nightwing. We ain't even addressed Robin but one time, and that was whack. We need Robin again. We've had a lot of films, and you know, we got Robin. You know, how many? We got 3 Jokers, or four probably. Like at least been 3 Jokers. You know what I'm saying?
Shows, you know,
like where's Robin?
Respectable boy wonder is,
man. You could make him respectable, man. Good. And one of my guesses, spoiler alert, if you haven't seen the I ain't even gonna say that, but. My guy will probably be if you want to do the thing right now, get a young dude, get the little dude that plays Ashtray, bro, from Euphoria. Yeah, and that little kid is a badass little MMA dude too, man. look up clips of this dude is out there crushing balance. He gonna be either a pro boxer or MMA fighter if this acting don't take him, you know.
Well, that's a nice catalog. What do? I MMA fight and I act.
Yeah, so he's already
nice catalog.
He could probably beat up Patterson's Batman.
Oh man.
And honestly, I'm kind of annoyed with that too. I get it, but man, get Patterson in the gym, bro. Like, y'all stop doing this actor. Don't let the actor lead the production, bro. We need Batman to look like he can Batman, dog.
Exactly. And to be Batman, you gotta have the bat body. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be in the gym.
Batman is a product about his training because it has to be. He doesn't do it for vanity. He does it because it's practical.
Take some
and it might save his life.
Know how to grapple, not just with the grappling hooks. You got to grapple in the fighting.
Yeah, man. Y'all can't be taking too many liberties.
Give him a cottage cheese ear.
Yeah, bro. Cauliflower ear.
Cauliflower. There we go.
I don't know what it's
the cauliflower.
Man.
Joint that hey, if you see somebody one of them Jones, don't mess with them. You know, they're a fighter.
That's funny. But yeah, I think that's it, folks. Man, we can wrap this up, man. Go see the Batman. Make up your own mind. You know, I would never tell anyone not to see a film unless I thought it was truly, truly terrible. But yeah, that's it, man. This has been another From the Canopy Film Show, and we're going to catch y'all next time. We'll be back also right after this with the regular show that we put out. You know where we'll be talking about this with Cornelius. He'll be able to chime in too, and some other things that we've seen. You know, But that's it, man. This was Monk. Catch me at Monkey Blood on Twitter, Instagram, and we're gonna be back soon.
Bobby Blockbuster. You catch me on Instagram as well.
All right, peace. I was gonna say some same bat time. Same
bat.